It is clear that we won't solve the problem of police brutality against people of African descent until we deal with the broader manifestations of systemic racism that permeate every aspect of their lives. The racial abuse faced, once again, by Real Madrid football player Vinicius Junior in Spain just this past Sunday is a stark reminder of the prevalence of racism in sport. I call on those who organize sporting events to have strategies in place to prevent and counter racism. Much more indeed needs to be done to eradicate racial discrimination, and it needs to start with listening to people of African descent, meaningfully involving them and taking genuine steps to act upon their concerns. I think I would like to provide a guide to those who are federations of sport, and which is so important because, of course, sport is also, it brings people together. It has there are so many positive things that are ingrained in sport events, but there's also, we need to deal with the shadow side as well, and that's why we want to put forward a number of clear ideas of human rights standards and sport events. Very deeply troubling reports of sexual violence in Khartoum and Darfur have emerged. We are aware at least of 25 cases, but we also know how difficult it is to document these cases, so we are sure that the real number of cases is much higher. General Al-Burhan, General Dagalo, you must issue clear instructions in no uncertain terms to all those under your command that there is zero tolerance for sexual violence, that perpetrators of all violations must be held accountable, civilians must be spared, and you must stop this senseless violence now. Some areas of the city, as well as gunfire heard Khartoum North, and nowhere is the devastating impact of human rights violations more stark than in the mines, in the midst of armed conflict and in the aftermath of natural disasters. And I would like to refer in particular to cyclone Mocha, which cut a swathe of destruction throughout, in particular, the western parts of Myanmar. And it is the latest, deeply painful manifestation of a man-made disaster, and I emphasize man-made disaster, resulting from a climate event. For decades, the authorities in Myanmar have deprived, as you know so well, the Rohingya of their rights and freedoms. They have relentlessly attacked other ethnic groups, eroding their capacity to survive in the face of adversity. Displaced communities have subsisted, for example, in temporary bamboo structures, some since 2012, with Myanmar's military repeatedly denying requests of humanitarian agencies to build more sustainable living conditions in areas that are less prone to flooding. And I saw that myself in my several visits to Myanmar, especially to the west and to Rakhine State. In Afghanistan, the Taliban continue aggressively to seek to erase half of the population from everyday life. Such a system of gender apartheid ruins the development potential of the country as a whole. I will never understand how anyone can trample so cruelly upon the spirit of girls and women, chipping away at their potential and driving one's country deeper and deeper into abject poverty and despair. It is crucial for the sake of the people of Afghanistan, the future of the country, and the wider region that these repressive policies against women and girls are immediately overturned.